Dear ChatGPT, when will climate change finally end? Sincerely, overcomplicated. Dear overcomplicated, according to historical pattern, climate change will end when each and every one of you die, and there will be no more pollution since there's no one left to pollute. Sincerely, ChatGPT. It's the 1920s. Cars were everywhere. The only catch is that they pollute the atmosphere with lead. Wait, what? If you didn't know, lead is a poisonous element. And its effect? Oh, nothing much. It just makes you dumber, shorter, weaker. And if you're lucky, you can have kids. But how is this related to climate change though? It is related because the whole crisis is exactly like climate change. It's slow, distant, and profitable. And we lost to it. If we lost to it, it means that we will also lose to climate change. So how did we lose to it? We lost because we willingly poisoned ourselves for more than 100 years. And even though we already knew of its effect, it took us more than 60 years after its introduction for us to start banning it. And then another 40 years for the last country to finally ban it in 2021. So let's analyze the reason why the smartest species on this planet lose to lead poisoning, and why we will all die from climate change. Okay, a few degrees can be that bad, right? I mean, my hot tub is already 10 degrees higher than room temperature and I feel great! Yeah, but there's just a small tiny problem with that statement. That's not how it fucking works! Here's proof. Your body's temperature is 37. Add one more degree and you get a fever. Another degree and you get a really, really bad fever. And add a few more and you fucking die. It's the same for the planet. Sure, the planet will stay intact even if the temperature gets hotter. The only catch is that every living organism on it won't. But we don't have to wait for the 3-degree warming. We will begin to die starting from the 1.5 degree mark. How so? Because of starvation, drought, and whatever happens in a society when the resource got scarce. And you might think that this apocalypse kind of stuff only happens in movie. And you can go kill yourself for thinking that way. Did you not learn history at all? Our world doesn't have plot armor. If the conditions for extinction are met, then the extinction will simply happen as is. It's very easy to think that way in this interconnected world. So many things work flawlessly on their own without your intervention. You will think that someone is in charge pulling all the strings. But no, not your government, not the UN, not anyone have control over all this. It's just a bunch of people doing things for their own self-interest. That's just how the economy works. And you'd be foolish to think that the economy will also guide us to fight climate change. The economy moves according to the majority. If the majority doesn't care about their future, then there's no reason for the economy to care for as well. But what about COVID-19? We took care of its planet. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! COVID was an easy target. We had a common enemy and only needed a vaccine to fight it. But climate change is a different breed. There's no clear enemy since that enemy is each and every one of us. And the only way to fix it is to fix ourselves first. Yeah, but what about carbon capture and Tesla and oh for fuck's sakes. Here's my reply to that. Too fucking good to be fucking true. Saying carbon capture will fix it is like saying, oh don't worry, I can smoke and destroy my lung all I want, and then some future technology will just miraculously save me. Here's what's wrong with that. Where's the proof, bro? Exactly. You don't have it. And even in the best case scenario, it can never fix some irreversible damage. So, it is guaranteed that not smoking gives you a better chance at staying alive. So no, there's no miracle solution as far as I'm concerned. And if there is one, sure, then I'd be glad. But in the meantime, I refuse to falsely place my hope on some non-existent promise. I'd rather take care of the planet right here, right now, not in some distant future. And if you don't know shit, this is what's happening right now. Most of the world is still using fossil fuel, and it's not moving to renewable anytime soon. Think of it like this. Our entire global society is a massive fully loaded airplane, flying smoothly across the sky. And right now, all of its engines run on fossil fuel. And we're telling ourselves, don't worry, we can just swap them out for solar engines. But you can't just rip out and replace all the engine on a plane that's still flying, full of passengers. Even if it's easy, the people high up still wouldn't, because it costs a lot to replace all the technology and stuff. And as Kurt Vonnegut once said, we'll go down in history as the first society that wouldn't save itself because it wasn't cost effective. China, the US, my contribution will be meaningless next to theirs. But those big numbers, they don't come from a single person named China. They come from every single Chinese person driving a car, buying a product, or turning on their light. And also from every single one of us who contribute to that global economy. And just because statistics says that your country pollutes less on average doesn't mean that you're good. Average hide extremes. It doesn't mean that everyone pollutes a little. If you live a high emission lifestyle, then you are polluting a lot. It doesn't matter if the average American carbon footprint is 5 times higher than your country's. As long as you live a rich lifestyle, then you pollute a lot. You just barely learned to write the letter A. And now imagine that someone told you then, okay, great, now only 25 more letters to go. Oh, and after that you need to study math, science, literature, and a dozen other subjects every single day for the next 12 years. After that, you get to go to university for 4 more years, pursuing bachelor, master, and PhD. Was all that possible? Your kids self probably say something like, fuck no, it's not possible. But your present self, I kinda like accomplished it already, so it's maybe not that hard. How so? Because you didn't do it all at once. You did it bits by bits, days by days. You didn't wake up thinking, oh wow, I clocked in 2,556 days of studying. Now only 12,000 more to go. No! You only focus on getting to class on time, finishing that homework, and getting a good score to impress your parents. That's all. And boom! After more than a decade of doing just that, you got your diploma, you got the degree, you finished all that studying. Your kid self was completely fucking wrong. Do you fucking see how mind just can't comprehend the future? Doesn't this also apply to how you see climate change? One smoke doesn't kill you immediately, because it only erodes 0.001% of your lungs' health. We can do it just once and still be healthy. But some people die because they do it enough time. Why do we do this? Because we falsely believe that it's insignificant, when in fact it is. And this is related to climate change, because aren't we all smoking? Every kilometer we drive, every kilogram we eat, every kilowatt we spend, on their own, they are as good as nothing. But when you factor in the fact that there are almost a billion of you doing this for every single fucking day, then the future foretold that we all die. Why do we do this? Because we falsely believe that it's insignificant and that quitting it is also insignificant. When in fact it is. When you try to quit an addiction, say smoking, it isn't an easy choice since you had zero progress behind you. And if the urge hit again, it won't be hard to relapse. But if you had a tons of progress behind you, then of course it's easier to resist, to keep up the streak. As for climate change, the average person will also find it hard to contribute, especially when there's no visible progress behind them, because pushing a boulder up alone is a very scary thing to do. And that's precisely why some of us just need to take the hit for humanity, to take that first brutal step even when there's no momentum behind us. Because pushing together make it less scary somehow. But wake up to reality. Do you see anyone taking that first step? Do you see anyone who's as scared of climate change as I am? Do you see anyone who truly realized that we are all fucked because everyone kept thinking that someone else will step up and fix it? Look around you. Where are the real adults? As kids, our parents made sure that we don't stupidly die because of our own ignorance. They protected us from ourselves. But now as adults, who's going to do that? Who's going to make sure that we don't stupidly die because of our own ignorance? Who's gonna? I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll take the bus. I'll stop eating meat. I'll convince the people I know to stop as well. So lend me your strength. If you wish to live longer, if you don't want to drown in the next flood or die from the next heat wave, lend me your strength. I don't wish to die from climate change. I want to keep living in this beautiful world, playing football with my friends or eating the delicious meal that my mom cooked for me. I want to keep experiencing more of those beautiful moments. You don't need to worry about your vehicle's emission if you're rushing a loved one to the hospital. You don't need to sacrifice your entire family livelihood for this. That's not what I'm asking for. All I'm asking is for it to be a higher priority, a higher one than it is now, higher than that next new gadget, higher than that new fashion brand. You don't need any grand obligation to save the world. Just forget all that burden. You can be selfish all you want, because it's completely fine to only care about yourself and your loved ones. So do it, even if it all seems insignificant now, even if you don't see any immediate result, even if you think no one else is doing it with you. Because I'll do it with you. We'll do it together. And maybe, just maybe, enough selfish people wanting to live will save us all. Even if this video can only convince one person at most, I'll still be grateful that I tried. Even if all our effort can only delay our death by one day at most, I'll still be grateful that we tried.